everybody. I'll be teaching you how to take apart your PS4 SLIM today. You'll be needing some certain screwdrivers, rubbing alcohol, and some Q-tips. Maybe a little stick even, just to get some of that dust out in the little fine spots. You can freeze frame on this picture to see what kind of screwdrivers you need. Alright, first of all, you're going to be taking off this little screw in the back. It's right in the middle, it's underneath the sticker. You can plop off that corner piece for that. It's no problem. Now you got to be taking off the top of the panel. It's really easy. It just plops right up on each corner in the front. I'll show you right here. Just pull up. It's the front of the system, right? See? Boom. Just plops right up like nothing. It's really easy. Flip that over. It might be dirty. Give it a little cleanse. Whatever. Q-tips or rubbing alcohol. Alright, and there's going to be all these screws on the top. I'll be looking at them here. You're going to be taking them all off. So T8, and there's a bunch of Phillips all the way around. And you got to remember where the screws go back in. You'll be like, oh, okay, this is where they are. I got to keep them in a neat little pile because I don't want to get them mixed up and not know where the screw goes back in. I'll be like, oh, damn. So it's always try your best. Take a picture of it even, something. Just try your best to remember where all the screws go back in. That's why I was just counting them. I was just like, okay, count them first. This is how many little Phillips there are. And that's it. Keep them in a nice little pile. Take them all off. And then, oh yeah, I usually take off the battery pack first. I forgot to mention. You take off these screws in the back. There's usually 5 on the battery pack. So there's 4 that hold the main battery pack in, Phillips, and the 2 security Torx, and then the 1 little for the antennae. You gotta take them off, keep them in a nice little pile. As you can see, it's pretty easy. You gotta get this antennae off. It's on a little hook that's like attached to the battery pack, so you don't rip your battery pack off. So it's kind of hard to do with one hand, but I'll skip ahead in a bit here. I'll get that off. Kind of hard to do with one hand. Just be careful with that. Now you have to take off the bottom. I forgot. You got to pull it off on each side. On each side, not right directly in the back, but on the sides, right in the back. Right on the sides. That's the bottom of the system. After you take off that little security Torx that's way in the back that I showed at the starting of the video. Here's the inside of the bottom, and there's a little screw here you got to take off. This is connected to your battery pack. It's the only screw that's touching from the back and the bottom. You're going to have to take that little Phillips off. Remember that little Phillips goes there? You got to remember where that little Phillips goes back in. Alright, I got it off, so now I can pull the battery pack up. So you lift the battery pack right in the middle. It's good to use 2 hands. I was trying with one hand. It's kind of hard. I had the video camera in my other hand. So just plop it up. It plops up, and you gotta watch out. There's some your little wires that connects to your motherboard there. Little wires. You don't want to snap those off. You don't want to just yank up really hard. You gotta be real gentle with this. It's your PS4, man. You put it to the side. Nice and simple. You can almost see inside the fan already, but you gotta get these ones off. These are the ones I've seen in lots of videos. These guys never show how to take these off. It's really simple though. You just got to take off these ones all the way around. It pops right off. You can get right inside the system. Inside the fan. Don't forget. Always remember where your screws go. And bam. Get your panel off. Keep your screws in your little pile. I remembered where they are, so I put them all in a little pile, my little bowl. Yeah. I got my rubbing alcohol and my Q-tips, which I already cleaned it off pretty good, but I'm probably going to give it another little wipe. You got to get inside here. These are the cooling fins. And there's your main fan. This thing gets really caked. You got to clean that out as best you can. Rubbing alcohol and Q-tips, a little stick, try to get out the dust. Like right in the back here, right in the corner right there. That's where lots of dust builds up. Right on those fins, on the little metal fin things. Once you clean that, simple, put it back on. Put your lid back on, put that the metal front silver panel piece back on, screw it back down, and then put your battery pack back down. And you clip this on. Yeah, this is your Wi-Fi antenna. If you use Wi-Fi, most people do. I use hardwired. You just clip that back on. Did it with one hand, simple, bam. Screwed it back on. Screw that little sucker back on. And then I was like, oh yeah, almost forgot these screws I gotta put back in. So always remember where your screws go. I can't stress this enough. You always gotta remember where these screws go. So I put the metal panel back on. This is, I don't know what it is. It's just like a little heat transfer thing, so your system doesn't get too hot. Little screw on the right, long screw on the left. They're security torques, but you can use the little flatheads. That's what I was saying, where you can use flatheads to try to get them off. The flathead is a little hard, but you can do it. It's possible. Put the 4 little screws back on. Skip ahead here. Get those little screws back on. There's 4 little long ones. And don't forget about the back, which holds the bottom. The bottom of your system holds the battery pack. And remember that little screw? Just like the top. There's one little screw in the back here. It's right there. Remember that one? You always got to put that one back in, or else your battery pack will be flopping around in there. It kind of holds it to the bottom of your system. You can scratch it, mark it. You always remember where that little screw goes. Just plop it back in. Screw it on. And that's it. Clean my system. Put it back. No, it's just to put the caps back on. And don't forget, you gotta always put them back on right. You don't want to like mess up the clips and they won't clip back together good, because the top is only clips, the top of the system. I forgot to clean this, so yeah, clean that little thingy. Cleanse, Q-tip, alcohol, clean. Now I put the clips back on. As soon as you get the back on here, you want to put that security torque screw back on that you got off of the back. But you got to remember which way you got it off. So I pulled it off from the back on the bottom. I pulled it off from the back on the sides. So it's going to have to go in from the front. So I hook it in from the front of the bottom. Push it forward. It clips back on. And then you put your T8 security torque, that little black one, right in there. After you're done clipping it back down. Now for the top. Same thing. Same principle. It's just clips off, clips on. I forget which way I was doing it here. And then I was like, oh, I pulled it off from the front, so I have to hook it on from the back. And, pull it from the back, nice and gentle, and it just clips right down. Bam. I already put the security torque in on the back, on the bottom. So that's it. I forgot to put the HD cap on, the hard drive. Plop that on, and you got a clean system. Have a